right, good evening, Tewksbury. It is October 16th. It is 6 p.m. Our Tewksbury Board of Health meeting is now called to order. I'm Melissa. Joining is Susan Amato, George, Chris, and Pam. And also present is Shannon Gillis, the Director of Public Health. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and broadcasted live on Tewksbury TV and available for viewing on YouTube. So can we please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Our first order of business is the approval of the draft minutes from September 18th. The minutes were included in the packet for review. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Motion to approve.
I second.
Okay, motion has been put forward by Chris, seconded by Susan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear none. Chair votes aye as well. Minutes are approved. Okay. So the next, open the floor for the public comment. I believe we need to vote on the opening on the public comment. So in this case, residents may speak on matters within the board's jurisdiction. Comments are limited to 2 minutes per speaker and must be directed to the board through the chair. The board cannot deliberate, but may place items on a future agenda. So do I have a motion to open the public comment?
I'll make a motion that we open for public comment.
Okay.
And I'll second.
Okay. Motion has been put forward by George, seconded by Susan. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hear none. Motion passes. Okay, so if anyone would like to come to the podium to speak for 2 minutes, you can put your name, and you'll just say your name and your address, and there's also a form there to fill out, please. I know today we have a pretty full house, so anyone can just go ahead, and I will set a timer.
Okay. My name is Dawn Sheehan from 100B Star Ave. I just want to say it's exciting to see the Board of Health's involvement with the lithium battery facility tonight and last week. There are obviously many safety concerns, but one that I know is well within the scope of practice of the Board of Health is regarding the noise issue. Now, typically in projects like this, the Board of Health sets another allowable noise level with regards to impacts and nuisance, because we know that compliance does not equal safety. The role of the Board of Health is to ensure that there are minimal impacts and not creating a nuisance in order to protect the public. Generally, the Board of Health adds an additional layer of protection, which is in the form of another set of limits, which is typically a lower set of limits regarding sound. I plead for an in-depth analysis of the sound report done by East Point Energy from the Board of Health. I have that with me. They make big claims of saying they are well within the compliance. They clearly are not. They claim not to go above 47 decibels at neighboring properties. However, their report shows readings of 57. Mass DEP does not allow more than an increase of 10 decibels above ambient. East Point Energy clearly shows readings of 14 decibels above ambient right outside their wall and subsequently to the surrounding neighbors. But they claim that the Mass DEP limit at those points is NA. This goes along well with their report because they have the sound levels being marked at 3 different points of either confidential or to be determined. This clearly warrants an in-depth look by the Board of Health at what this company is trying to hide from us residents.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would?
Madam Chair, we gonna get a copy of the report?
I'm going to request.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And you can always submit, if you, so just for the record too, if you want to submit that, if you have a copy and you'd like to submit that for our records as well, you may do so. And if you'd like, you can send that to the Board of Health email as well.
Hi, my name is Linda Martin. I live at 25 Emerald Court. And I want to thank you, Ms. Braga, for coming to the public hearing last Thursday. Your remarks were very informative to us, and I hope you follow up on what you have said. One of the things that you did say was that, and I may have gotten this wrong, but you talked about measuring the sound level post-construction. And I worried about that because I wonder if the construction occurs and the facility is operating, will you actually be able to shut that down at that point in time? And now, I may not be familiar with Public Health Works. I really haven't had to get involved with anything. So it's just a question I have, and I hope sometime we can have an answer to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is John Quinn. I live at 51 Emerald Court. I've been a resident of Tewksbury for 69 years. I'm not going to talk about the macro stuff. I'm going to talk about the people who live right around that facility because their health could be endangered. Within 1,000 feet, there is a 55-plus community, 264 residents, just 560 feet away, an assisted living facility, 64 occupants within Emerald Court footprint, 20 nearby residents, 46 people, one within 34 feet, and 18 businesses with 120 employees, some only 40 feet from the site. The proximity of these groups raises serious safety concerns, particularly concerning single-lane roads and evacuation challenges for elderly and assisted living residents. You have to excuse me, I'm having a problem with my tongue.
No, it's okay.
And I would hope you're aware that within a mile, there's 2,000 students, 1,300 of them grades 3 through 6. If an evacuation of those facilities was ever required, and it was in an inappropriate time, such as the dismissal of the high school, it would be not pretty. Because Pleasant Street, you wouldn't be driving towards the caustic fumes, you'd be driving away. So it'd send you west on Pleasant Street. So just picture trying to evacuate the 1,300 young children, and I don't even know if you could bring them home because it would depend upon the day, because there might not be parents there to receive them. So and then some of them would be living in the affected area, so you couldn't drive them there. So you'd have to probably bring them to another facility and have a dismissal from there. So I would envision 1,300 kids being transported to the Wynn Middle School and then trying to negotiate an evacuation out of there or a dismissal out of there. Do you know how many parents drive their kids to school today? All you have to do is drive up there and see the lines of cars. I drive my grandson in Chelmsford, and I sit in a line of cars at a school of that age level for 20 minutes waiting to drop them off. Imagine if they all converged on the Wynn School at the same time. It would not be pretty. One of the things that we're upset about is in the General Act, we were supposed to have the ability to get funds. There was supposed to be a grant fund set up for community groups like us in small towns to get money to be able to interpret these very complicated documents. A layman can't read these. You have to hire engineering firms and lawyers. And we're grandfathered. We're not going to get any of those funds. So we don't have the ability to fight it on our own. Just a couple other things.
So the 2 minutes are almost, are you almost?
I'll be done in a
Perfect.
couple of minutes.
That's,
Couple of seconds.
okay.
The suitability of the site is awful. It doesn't belong in a neighborhood. It never should be put in a residential area. And there's innumerable other things wrong with the project, but I've exceeded my limit, so I'll go sit down.
I
Thank you
appreciate
very
that.
much
And if
for
you have
coming to
anything
me
in
the
writing
other
that you'd
night.
like to submit, please do so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want us to sign this?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Your name and your address on there.
Madam Chair, if I would, for the record, I'd like the folks to just know that we voted 2 weeks ago on a Thursday, 5-0, that you could go to speak at that with all our backing. I'd like the folks to know that. Thank you.
Yes.
And you did a phenomenal job.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you for indulging me.
Absolutely.
Good evening, Board of Health. My name is John Lombardo, and I live at 17 Buckingham Road. And tonight, I'm speaking to you as a resident and on behalf of any board or committee I serve on. I did speak at the hearing, but I do want to follow up with the Board of Health on this. And it comes down to accountability when it comes to health, especially for first responders and our residents. If they ever are evacuated in a chemical atmosphere, where does the responsibility lay? Who's going to pay for their bills, or short-term, long-term housing? And I do want to highlight that in this nation, that there's a history of, especially when it comes to first responders, they're never able to get their benefits. I want people in this community, in this town, to know that when we distance ourselves and say it's just up to the state and we can't do anything, we're actually setting a precedent for them not to be able to get any from the town. So I just want to say that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
My name is Mary Ann Busak, 40 Emerald Court, Tewksbury. I did speak the other night at the meeting, and Melissa, again, we're very grateful that you had the courage to come and speak on the behalf of the Board of Health. A lot of times, people that work for towns do not want to speak. You had a lot of courage to do that, and we appreciate all the research that you did. We've all been doing research also for about 5 months now. One of the things that I just got nervous the other night, I didn't have a chance to say, I'd like people in town to realize, and all of you to realize if you already don't, these batteries, we believe, are Sungrove Type 2 batteries made in China. We are not certain that they are yet perfected. They are currently working on better forms of these batteries, but they're not done yet. We also would like to mention that this company that is the mother company, if you will, they're from Norway, called Equinor. And also the emergency response team for this company is based out of Texas. I don't see how any of these things is going to help the little town of Tewksbury, Massachusetts. And I don't feel that they have our best interest at heart. So I just wanted people in general to be aware of that. Thank you very much, and I'm very concerned about our firefighters. I'm from a firefighter family and very concerned about all of our health and how we could have respiratory issues, and it goes on in the event of an emergency. But our firefighters, even with hazmat suits, if these fires get real hot and they can burn for several weeks, I'm very nervous about what it's going to do to the health and well-being of our first responders. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sign this.
Oops. Oh, stop. New phone. Is there anyone else? Okay.
I forgot to sign, but can I say something else too?
I'll give you 1 minute. And you can always submit something in writing as well,
Oh,
if
thank
you'd
you. I
like,
didn't
yes.
know that. Oh.
Absolutely.
Okay, because the only other thing, and you brought this up too, was in their proposal, East Point Energy said they were going to be cleaning up the existing site, that there may be contaminants in the soil. And I guess my question is, how is that going to be checked and verified? And what type of problems will exist during the construction. The weight of the batteries, 169 of them, each weigh 93,700 pounds. Will the weight of the entire construction site have an effect on the water conditions and runoff? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? Oh, okay.
Sorry, I thought you were talking.
Okay, so if I don't see anyone else, okay.
This is going to be very quick. I just wanted to let
you could just
know.
state your name and your-
My name is Tom Berrigan, 15 Emerald Court.
Thank you.
The Electric Power Research Institute, they keep a database of incidents where fires at large grid-connected battery energy storage systems in the United States. As of April 2023, which is their latest figure, there's been 14 incidents of major fires. That's 2.5 years ago, so I'm sure that number has increased. But just wanted to say that at all these sites, they were assured that the batteries were safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me ask you a question.
So you may ask, I may not be able to answer.
Can't even-
So you may ask, but I may not be able to answer right now.
I'm just curious,
And can you just, I know you already spoke, but can you just state your name and get to the mic?
long,
I apologize. I know I'm making you walk.
hobble. Has anybody approached the Board of Health from the town relative to this project? I get the sense that this project is not being widely discussed in the town, and it could have a major impact on this town, the safety and healthy of a lot of people.
So I can answer that. As far as the Board of Health, which is different than the Health Department, the Board of Health and our members, from my understanding, has not been
Right.
spoken to on this
That you-
matter. Shannon, I don't know if anyone has spoken to the Health Department per se, but it has not come in front of any of us as members of the board until we received the several emails that we did.
Well, the Health Department works for the town. They're under the auspices of the town manager, right?
Correct.
One of our members inquired about talking to the Board of Health town employees, and they were referred to the town manager. So we have concerns that the community is not involved in discussing this project, criticizing it, offering comments, having things we would like to say to lawyers and interveners. We're off to the side, and we live next to that. Very disturbing.
Thank you. So as the Board of Health, our goal is to ensure the safety and public health of every single resident in Tewksbury. And so that is something that when, the concerns of the residents come in front of us and we receive those emails, I did look into a couple of things and see what we could, as a board, or could not do. And so this is why we had, the vote to be able to speak at the public hearing and then move forward with that. And as the night goes on, there's going to be more information on that too, and there's going to be discussion on that as well. So you are all more than welcome to stay. There's going to be a couple of things before that, but you're all more than welcome to stay if you'd like. This is probably the fullest we've had in this house, so.
Exciting.
Hopefully it'll be continuing.
Yes. So yeah, anyone else would like to speak? If not, we can, and again, you can always submit anything per writing, email, and to the, however you'd like. If there is no one else that is intending to speak, we're going to close the public hearing portion to move on to the next, and we'll continue with the board. Okay, so I hear none.
I make a motion that we close the public comment.
Okay,
I'll second.
All right, motion has been put forward and seconded by George and Susan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Okay. So, thank you all. All right, so next, let me go back to here. Next, we have the compliance hearing regarding the sale of tobacco product to a person under 21 at 711 to 2280 Main Street, which occurred on October 6th. I believe this is the second violation. The purpose of this hearing is to hear from the permit holder on their representative regarding their plan to prevent future violations. And this is what we call a quasi-judicial hearing under our local tobacco control regulations. So can we have a motion to open the hearing?
I'll make a motion to open the hearing.
Second.
Okay, motion put forward by Pat, seconded by Chris. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Chair votes aye as well. Motion passes. Okay, so we can hear from the health director first.
If I could, I'd defer to Ron, our tobacco
Absolutely.
control
Okay.
agent.
So next would be Ron, the tobacco. And there's a sign-in sheet right there, too.
Here.
Yep. Yes. And then if you can both just state your names and your addresses.
Ron Beauregard, Tobacco Control
Thank
Health
you.
Agent.
Peter Sullivan, store manager at 7-Eleven in Tewksbury.
Okay. Yeah, you can start.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So just, we're here, I think I may have, my hearing might not have been good. This is a first violation. I don't know whether there was mention of okay, I'm sorry, I might have heard incorrectly that it was second.
I thought
Yeah.
that was going to be a surprise to me, too.
Yeah, this is a first. In fact, I took a look
Okay.
back.
It says, sorry, okay, so we'll just have to revise that on the
Yeah.
agenda. It does say second, that's why, my
Okay.
apologies.
All right. And so we did routine compliance checks as is required under our contract with the Department of Public Health and with the Board of Health here in Tewksbury. We conducted 21 checks that day. We only kind of sauntered into Tewksbury for 8 of them. We were doing some other checks in another community. As a collaborative, as you know, we work with other communities. And here, an 18-year-old male entered the store and at approximately 12:30 p.m. on October 6th. I was very fortunate to be able to go right into the store about 10 minutes after the incident and was able to talk to Peter. Peter's been the exemplary in terms of cooperation with all inspections. I went back to 2017, and I think it would go back further than that, but really had a great cooperation and compliance. Unfortunately, as the board knows, and I communicated to Peter, with the strong state law that went into effect in 2020, our hands are tied in terms of the minimum fine. So this fine is high, $1,000, but it is the minimum fine. I think the most important thing and I think the reason he's here and why the board always wants individuals from the retailers here is just to kind of go over a plan would help eliminate or mitigate any potential issues in the future. That's it.
Thank you.
So our plan moving forward is we've activated the registers so that anytime any tobacco product, whether it's e-cigarettes, which we always did before, cigarettes or Zyn or Grizzly, any tobacco-related product will require a scan of an ID through the register, and there's no way to override it.
Okay. Is that recent?
Yes, yes, it is because of this. This was our plan to alleviate any issues. And of course, we've also gone over with our employees that they have to be IDing people for tobacco.
Any questions from the board?
No, I'm just, the scanning is just of their license? Is
Yes. So it basically, so the idea is by forcing the scan, they have to look at the ID. There's no bypassing the ID.
that, right, thank you.
Of course.
Madam Chair, I don't have any questions. I just have a couple comments to the board members on where I type of stand on this issue. Some of you know I ran for the position because in 2016, the board was reviewing smoking regulations. And I lean in favor of when people are over 18 that they can decide if they want to smoke. Now, I don't want any children to even start. But I'm not happy with the second point, if this was the second, as you know, there was a different cost for the fees. And the second one, is, to me, is just outrageous. And the other thing I just wanted to mention is that and this is one of the reasons why I ran, and again, people are going to say, here we go, Ferdinand talking about himself, but this is actually one of the reasons why I ran for state rep, and this is it, is that I believe business should be able to get a tax credit to get this equipment, because somehow this state expects people to be able to just have money and just whip it out and take care of everything that the government in our state wants us to do. So I want people to know that I'm concerned that every facility gets a scanning machine, but they have to pay for it themselves. So I would prefer a tax credit. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the board?
What happened to the employee that caused the violation, as it were?
So
Were they educated? Were they?
We kept her on board. Didn't do any sort of like pay cut or anything like that. A little bit of retraining with IDing. And I mean, she's a waitress. She serves alcohol. She knows what she's supposed to do. She got busy. I was busy doing something else. I didn't realize how busy she got. She kind of just put her head down and she powered through it. So, I mean, I talked to her. I said, hey, look, like, this is important. We're going to have to pay money now. But I haven't had any other issues with her, so we've decided to keep her on board.
So it seems like it was a true accident.
I believe it was.
Okay.
All right, any other questions from the board? Okay, so with this, obviously, as all of you know, and correct me if I'm wrong, we cannot reduce the fine below the statutory minimum, but what we can do, we can deliberate, we can discuss if there are things that we can do, like delaying payment plans, corrective actions, things like that.
I don't have anything. Whatever the rest of the board,
I think
I'll
what we've
consider that.
done.
Half and half.
Yeah, we've done in the past, I believe we've done like half and half, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in the
Or
past.
does it not make a difference?
Yeah, but I recall when we had a discussion, is if there is a desire on
Yeah.
the company, to do it in a, not the 21 days, as the correction order indicates.
Has this been
I
the
have no
case?
question of the,
Okay.
because we build cooperation, there's no worry about, paying a
Right.
portion and then another portion. If there's a need or for it to be a little delayed, it's fine for payment.
As I understand, or I spoke to the owner today, and he regrets not being here today. He had surgery done on his back yesterday. Or
Yes, he did
he
send
would
an
be
email.
here instead of me. But he intends on either mailing the check tomorrow, as long as he's physically able to, or otherwise, he's planning on dropping it off here at the town hall on Monday.
Great. So, and with,
Actually, I do have another question.
Go ahead.
So the owner is the one paying it. The owner is not going to make you as the manager and everybody else in the store, put money in a bucket and do it. It's going to be the owner that's paying for it because he owns the business.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
okay. So, in that case,
Do I make a motion that no further action occurs in this incident?
Yes.
Thank you.
There's been a motion that no further action be taken at this moment.
And I'll second that
By
motion.
George, seconded by Susan. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion, a chair votes aye as well, motion passes. You are all set, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Do I have a motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close the hearing. Second. Please.
Motion put forward by Susan, seconded by Chris. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Got it. All right. So next is the new business, 2026 meeting calendar. There's a draft for the 2026 meeting calendar that was provided in your packets. All meetings are scheduled for the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. Any changes or comments from the board?
None from me.
Okay. Motion to approve.
I motion to approve the schedule for the meetings.
Okay, motion has been put forward by Susan,
Second.
seconded by Chris. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Chair votes aye as well. All right.
Madam Chair, I'm going to have surgery Monday, and I expect to be at the next meeting, but I will request the department if I can call in if I have any complications.
Cool.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You can just do that by, just email. That's
Thank
fine. Absolutely. All right. So next we have an education presentation on the Board of Health Authority by the Massachusetts Association of Health Boards. So Mike is from the Massachusetts Health Boards. I'm going to get this up and running for you. So to kind of give us some insight, this is to assist with what we can and cannot do moving forward with a little bit of everything, and including the battery site, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see if this is going to work. Oh wait, cancel. I want to do this in slideshow. Try it. Yeah. Oh wow. Oops. Nope. Escape. May not work. I think I can do it this way. Okay. Choose content. Window. Choose window or app. You're in this window. Whew. All right, and we're gonna play. I'm trying. Continue to mirror. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
If you could just state your name and your address, just.
Sure.
Thank you.
Michael Hugo. I am the Director of Strategy and Government Relations for the Massachusetts Association of Health Boards.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to be here tonight to talk to you. I know that you have a very packed house here tonight.
Yes.
Very impressed that the neighborhood is suitably concerned to be here. So what I want to talk to you about tonight is what your legal authority is, and my standard disclaimer is that I'm not here as an attorney. I'm here as to give you legal education and to discuss certain strategic things that are available to boards of health, and to discuss the site assignment process should you decide that that's the route you want to go, so you will understand what's involved in that. Next slide, please. So what I want to stress is that one of the folks that asked a question a little bit earlier was asking about the health department versus the health board. And it should be clear that the Board of Health has an agent, which is the health director. The health director works for works under the town manager. If something were to go wrong, if she was to not show up for work just because she didn't feel like it or something like that, that's the town manager's issue. However, she works for the Board of Health, so under the town manager, but for the Board of Health. And there may be times when the Board of Health is making a decision that the town manager doesn't like, or that the select board doesn't like, and the allegiances of your health director in that instance go to the Board of Health, not to the town, not to the town manager or the select board. As your agent, she cannot be directed by anybody else other than this Board of Health when it comes to public health issues. The legal authority of, next slide, yep, good, back up one. The legal authority that comes to boards of health, first of all, federal law, to the extent that there is federal law involving public health these days, federal law sets minimum standards, and state law is free to take those minimum standards and to build more on top of that, not ever being able to take away from that. Boards of health can pass standards that are more stringent than the state standard, but cannot go less than the state standard. And that goes back to that order that you're looking at right there was signed by Paul Revere, who was the first president of a Board of Health for the town of Boston back in 1799 or 89. And that actually was the very first public health order in the United States of America. So the case law is that the legislature has given the boards of health its authority. The legislature years back in the 1700s said, we don't know about public health. We're going to let the cities and towns figure that out for themselves. Massachusetts has 351 cities and towns and 351 boards of health. That is more than California, Texas, and maybe any other 2 or 3 states thrown on top of it. Nobody has that many boards of health. I just came back from a convention in Georgia, and California has 8. Rhode Island has 1. Massachusetts has 351. And because of that, the legislature has basically put its trust in boards of health. Next slide, please. So the legal, this is a very important point. The SJC has never once ever in its history, and that's our Supreme Judicial Court, has never ever reversed a Board of Health order or reversed a Board of Health regulation as long as it was done in a reasonable manner. The test is whether or not there's any conceivable ground upon which the regulation may be upheld. The key case on the bottom there, Arthur D. Little versus the City of Cambridge, was a case where Arthur D. Little wanted to do chemical warfare, wanted to build chemical warfare weapons in Cambridge, and the Cambridge Board of Health held a hearing. The federal government came in and said that there's less than 1% chance that anything could go wrong the way that it was being done. The industry came in and said less than 1% chance that anything could go wrong. And the Board of Health, on a 1% possibility, passed a regulation saying you can't make chemical warfare weapons in the city of Cambridge. It was challenged, and the SJC said that even a 1% possibility, if the Board of Health had a reasonable feeling that was presented even a 1% possibility of harm, they were going to uphold the Board of Health. So that shows how certain anything that you do will, if it gets challenged, if you do it right, you will win your challenge. Statistically, it's just never happened any other way. Next, please. So there are certain, we've discussed the legislature delegating its authority to the boards of health, but we also know that the sharing of authority could be with the state sanitary code. You share authority with the state, but the state delegates all of its power. You just did a hearing just now where the state doesn't do anything with tobacco. It's up to you. They've given you a minimum of $1,000 for the first offense. You can't make it better than that. They didn't give you any minimum times for suspension or anything of that sort, so you can work with that. That's a perfect example of how the state is giving a basic minimum that you have to live up to. Next slide, please. So there's a few specific authorities that are carried in Chapter 111, which is the chapter of the general laws that has Board of Health authority and Board of Health actions. And we're going to concentrate tonight on nuisances and noisome trades. But these other areas are areas where the Board of Health has its jurisdiction. Next slide, please. And this is a listing of the areas that boards of health and no one else in town, no one else in the state has any authority over these particular items. And next slide, seen in a different footing, these are the areas that boards of health will regulate. There are 50-some-odd statutory duties that boards of health have that no one else has, and these are included in this slide. Next slide, please. We're going to look at the nuisance law first. The Board of Health, the nuisance law is Chapter 111, Section 122, and in that section it says that basically if a Board of Health has conducted a hearing and has arrived at an opinion in the Board of Health's mind that it is our opinion that this could present a risk of spread of disease or creating sickness brought into the town, or may affect public health or safety in any way, if it's your opinion that that may be the case, the next slide please, then you shall make a regulation relative thereto, and you shall examine, destroy, remove, or prevent, as the case may require, any illness or any possibility of bringing any kind of disease in. Diseases don't mean diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis necessarily. Diseases could be mental unrest because of a noisy neighbor. Diseases could be a piggery next door that smells and you can't sleep at night. It could be the sound of something that keeps you up. It could be lights flashing. It could be a truck backing up with a backup alarm. We're working on a case right now with another Board of Health where they have a driving school, and it's right next door to a residential neighborhood. A driving school for trucks, and the backup alarms are driving the neighbors out of their minds. And that's all public health. That's all up to you. Next slide, please. So again, it's a judgment call. It's in your opinion, and it's based on public health principles. And if it affects the public, it's even one individual or one household, if it could spread to the neighbors, or if it could spread the nuisance through the community, if there's a real or potential health risk, then you can take an action. In fact, you have to take an action at that point. Next slide, please. So again, I just want to stress the second one here is probably the most pertinent to what you're looking at right now. Could it cause trauma or injury to the public? And certainly noises and the other things we're about to discuss, which we hope will never be present, will be something you'll consider. Next slide, please. The noisome trade as opposed to nuisance. The noisome trade statute at section 143 through 150 says that no trade or business that results in or may result in a nuisance be harmful to the inhabitants or injurious to their estates, which means property value. Yes, that's a public health issue too. Dangerous to the public health, or may be attended by noisome or injurious odors, that's not really an issue here, shall be established except in such a location as may be assigned by the Board of Health after a hearing. So you can hold a hearing and decide that, yes, we need to have this kind of a thing in our town. Yes, it's for the public good, but no, not in that neighborhood. So it's really a classic, almost like a NIMBY kind of a thing. You can say, not in my backyard. And the people who live in an area that could be affected by something and affect their sleep, affect their daily patterns, that is something that you have to take action on. Next slide, please. And of course, the piggery is the classic example. And these are other classic examples. I know that in Framingham, there was an issue with a body shop in the neighborhood, and that was not, it was permitted by the zoning board and by the planning board, and the Board of Health said, no, not in that neighborhood. There's kids playing in there, and there's paint, and there's smell, and it's too close to the house next door. We can't have it there. And then, of course, the bottom one is pertinent to what you're looking at right now, causes excessive noise, vibration, air, water pollution, risk of fire explosion, or increases the burden on municipal services. So that would be things like traffic studies that would have to be done, escape plans if there's an issue. A fire at a BESS facility is not one where you would issue an order to shelter in place, for instance, for the neighborhood. I know that there's a very large neighborhood of retirement neighborhood in that area, and those people cannot shelter in place for reasons we're going to get into in a couple more slides. Next, please. So these are the options in a situation where you have a business that may affect the health of the people in the neighborhood. You can either prohibit from coming to the municipality at all. You can assign a site within the municipality. You can talk to your municipal lawyer, which you must do. This is not legal advice that I'm giving you. And you can assign conditions on the site, like hours of operation. Unfortunately, we're going to focus for a second on the BESS facility. Unfortunately, you can't tell them that you have to turn the fans off at night. You can't tell them that they have to diminish any of their activities at night. So this is not one where you can assign hours of operation. That would be something like the trucks backing up and things of that sort. That's where you'd be assigning conditions like that. Next slide, please. This is a case, a very important case to anything that has to do with a nuisance or a noisome trade. In this case, P.J. Keating versus Acushnet. P.J. Keating was a very successful, large asphalt plant, and they were expanding, and they were smelly, and they were too close to the neighborhood, and they were operating for many years. In fact, people built houses around it. So they couldn't come in. They tried to come in before the court and say they came to us. We didn't just show up in the middle of their neighborhood. And the court held that even in the case of an ongoing business, if the Board of Health feels that that business has just become unbearable for the community, they can go in and close it. The Board of Health has the authority to go in and close that business, and even though it's going to cost the corporation lots of money, it's going to put people out of jobs, it's going to put people out of business. If it's affecting the public health, the Board of Health has that much power that you can go in and say, you're out of business, you have to close. That would be a disaster in a case like this, because there will be millions of dollars being spent. And we submitted some comments on behalf of the Boards of Health to the state, and I've shared those with your chair. I don't know whether or not you've all seen them or not, but she'll make sure that you see them, and your director will make sure that you've seen them. We're working with DOER on this very closely, and I attended, actually I watched your meeting the other night that you had, but I attended last night's meeting by virtual, but I went out to Amherst last week and met with them in a public hearing there. We're saying to DOER, when you do your regulations, the companies that are coming to the towns should not be starting with the town manager, and they should not be starting with planning and zoning. They should come to the Board of Health and say, this is what we're thinking. Should we spend money on this? When I chaired Framingham, I was on the Framingham board for 15 years, chaired it for 8. One of the things that happened in Framingham was we had a developer that came to town to build, he wanted to build 43 luxury homes. He was calling them condos, which sounded okay, 43 condo units, but they were 5-bedroom standalone homes. And he wanted to put them on this huge tract of land. He purchased a farm, he paid legal fees, he purchased the services of engineering firms, and went to the planning board. And when I heard that he was on their agenda for the very first meeting in front of the planning board, I went and I said, Mike Hugo, Chair of the Board of Health, I want to put everybody on notice that they haven't come to the Board of Health yet. We have some severe concerns which we will not address in front of the planning board. They're Board of Health issues. Please hold off anything that you're going to be doing on this application until they come to the Board of Health. They granted the application after 6 or 8 hearings with this developer, that he had never come to the Board of Health. Went to the ZBA, same thing, was told actually by the chair of the ZBA, Mr. Hugo, we love what you do for public health, but this isn't, you're not a zoning guy, please get away from the podium and let us get on with our evening. We let them go, they went through the whole thing, $2.5 million later, we brought them to the Board of Health. We pointed out that they were building these units on bedrock and that there's no water under them and that they have to be fed by wells. We had people from the neighborhood come in and say, when I'm taking a shower, if my neighbor flushes his toilet while I'm in the shower, it changes my water pressure. That's how little water there is in the neighborhood. So we issued an order, a rational order after a hearing using hydrogeologists, like what you're going to have to be doing here. We issued an order saying, do a pump test during the month of August, and if you can pass that pump test, we will allow you to go forward with it. They sued. The court said that the planning board did a perfect job. The zoning board is to be commended for their work that they did on this project. The developer gave a wonderful plan. The Board of Health needs you to do a pump test in the month of August. As soon as you show them that, you can start building, but until you do, there's an outstanding Board of Health order. They never, ever ran the pump test. That they knew they couldn't pass it. They gave up on that project. They lost $2.5 million because they didn't start at the Board of Health. And that's what we're urging here, is that before the developers, and I know they're going to be watching this tape, so before I'm saying this to you developers, before you do it, go to the Board of Health, because there are legitimate concerns that we're about to get into now. Next slide, please. So these are, if you're going to be doing a site assignment, you have the right, first of all, you have the right to declare that you want to do a site assignment. The site assignment then becomes a financial burden, not to the town, but it's the bills for all of the lawyers, including a hearing officer, your attorneys, their attorneys, if there's any rentals that are needed for space to do it, whatever. The proponent of the license pays for everything in a site assignment.
Thank you very much for that
Not going to
information.
cost your town manager money. It's not going to affect your town budget. They have to pay for it. They have to show you that it's safe. And the things that jump out at me on the criteria for site assignment are traffic and access to the site. And I would think that under that, with the vehicular safety portion of that, you'd be worried about your emergency plan for getting out of the neighborhood, and potential air quality impacts. Those are the ones that I think would be seized upon by the Board of Health for something like this hearing. Next, please. Let's skip that one, but that'll be in your packet if you just for other information. Looking at best facilities specifically, it's not so much, although we've all, I'm sure everybody who is on this topic has seen videos of the California fires and the other fires that have taken place across the country. You know that that the city of New York has an ordinance that says that you're not allowed to store your electric bike or your electric scooter in the entranceway of an apartment building. That's because when the battery goes on fire, the firemen can't get people out if it's blocking the doorway because it's such a hot fire. There's got to be another way out. So we all know about the temperature of the fire. We know about the thermal runaway, that when one battery catches on fire, the batteries we're talking about are basically the size of a box truck. And that's not the battery itself. That's the container that contains thousands of smaller batteries. And when one of those arcs and catches on fire, they're about that big. When one catches on fire, it catches the one next to it on fire, and then you have the whole thing on fire, which catches the whole next thing on fire, which is 4 days worth of firefighting to get it under control in some of these cases that we've heard about. So you have the thermal runaway, but that's not really what scares me the most. That's more of a fire prevention or firefighting, public safety thing. But the public health part, aside from obviously the fact that you have a fire and you have water, and in some cases we're working out in Western Mass right now on one where they want to put a facility right next to the town's well system. Well, what happens when they start pouring water on a fire there and it goes into the aquifer, into the town wells, and it carries the constituents of the lithium-ion battery into the water table? That's an issue for another town. But the toxic gases, and I've got a separate slide, so I'm going to just talk about it, just mention it right now. The toxic gases are a reason that you are going to want to really pay some real attention to this. Of course, burns, respiratory distress, long-term damage, lung damage, we're going to talk about that in a second. I don't know enough, to be very honest, about the failure of the batteries and off-gassing. I haven't studied that the way that I've studied the smoke and the other issues of the degradation. This is coming from a Chinese company, I understand. We don't know what their quality control is. We don't know that it's the same as an American company. I don't know. I'm not going to give you any kind of information about that. That's something that you're going to want to look into, though, for sure. And then the health impacts, of course, are going to be on the next slide when we talk a little bit about the smoke. Let's skip the noise one right now. This is just in the packet for you to just see what the noise levels could be. But I will mention this part, though, that the cooling system consists of several fans for each battery, and one of the people that spoke a couple of minutes ago mentioned, and that was the first time I actually had heard the number of, no, not the 14 decibels, 169 batteries times at least 4 fans per battery. So we're not talking about a fan on a battery. We're talking about a box truck that has fans built into it, and they're running all the time, day and night. And they get a little bit louder during the daytime when the sun is baking down on these truck backs, on these box truck things, and it's building heat inside. Plus, you have the heat of the batteries inside. So those fans are working overtime during the day, but at night they're still running, and they're going to be audible for a certain amount of time. That's stuff that you're going to want to have studied. I don't have any opinions. I don't offer opinions on that, but you have to keep that in mind. Then you have in addition to the fans, you have the transformers and inverters. You've all walked down the road and walked by a phone pole and looked up because you heard something going on the phone pole, a buzz. Those same types of equipment are part of these battery packs, and so they're always buzzing and humming because they're going on and off thousands of times a second. I don't know what the cycle is, but and that's what creates that humming sound. So you're going to have those sounds, and if you're within earshot, and even on a day when you're normally not, but the wind is blowing in that direction, you're going to hear things all night long. And it's going to be constant, and it's not going to be shut off. And there's not going to be anybody to call and say, can you turn it down? And you can't call the police and say the neighbors are partying too loud. It's not going to be that loud, but it's going to be that constant. And I would suggest that you look at a psychological condition called weathering when you're looking at this. We all have things that bother us. It's the shoe, the rock in the shoe, and you just keep walking. You say that I don't have time to stop and deal with that, and then later on you say, I wish I did. Well, you're weathering a condition, and people who live near facilities like this, or people who are actually exposed to chronic public health insults, are weathering the storm, essentially, and it creates a psychological issue, a psychiatric issue in many cases, and in fact that's a DSM disease, weathering now. So, okay, next please. And here we go. So these are, when there's a fire involving a lithium-ion battery, these 5 on the left side are what comes out of it. Hydrogen fluoride, and I don't have to read the slides, but you know that hydrogen fluoride will create respiratory irritation and could have an effect on your lungs and consequently on your heart. Carbon monoxide, we all know how dangerous carbon monoxide is. Hydrogen cyanide, this is not in every battery, but this is something that you should be looking into as a board, is whether or not these batteries would have these plastics or flame retardants in them. Sulfur dioxide, and then on the other side you have the particulate matter that goes up in the smoke, and you have VOCs, and we've all heard of benzene and toluene and formaldehyde. You know how dangerous those can be and carcinogenic. Then you have the fine particles, and then you have the heavy metals and metal oxides and cobalt, nickel. Nickel is not like something you hold in your pocket and pay 5 cents for. Nickel is a very dangerous metal, as is cobalt, and well, they all are there. And these are all neurotoxics. The problem is that this is why earlier I said you don't shelter in place if you live in that neighborhood in Emerald Court, because this smoke is going to go up, it's going to go sideways, it's going to come, and the particles are going to come down someplace. Presumably, the closer they are to the smoke, the more danger the people are in. And I think that neighborhood, you're going to need to get testimony in this hearing that you'll be holding, if you do hold one, about what the effect of the particles could be potentially. And with that, my favorite last slide, and for those who have seen an MAHB production before on education, you've seen this slide. The judicial system is the most expensive machine ever invented to find out what happened and what to do about it. And that's what we want to avoid, is a lawsuit. You're going to have a lawsuit probably from the company. Those aren't the ones that I'm worried about. I'm worried about the lawsuits that happen with the people who are sitting behind me. If something, and it won't be against you, it'll be against the company. You have certain immunities that we'll get into when you come to another one of our programs that we'll be holding, not here in front of your board. So next slide is my questions and answers.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
I have one question. Were you aware of that the Great Swamp is close to that site as well? Because you sort of went by the environment, I believe the environmental impact.
I did, and I am aware. I've spent, believe me, there's one thing about Melissa. She will keep you on the phone for as many hours as you will stay on, and she will teach you everything. I know that neighborhood like I know in fact, I probably know it better than I know my own neighborhood, because I just moved there 2 years ago. But I know that neighborhood, and I know, yeah, and that is something that you absolutely, and that should be part of your site assignment, because that's a huge issue. Any other questions?
So for
I want to say thank you.
Yeah, so for the record, after you all voted me to speak, I wanted to look at the site myself to see where it was, and so that's part of the discussion afterwards, but no. So yeah, so then I did speak with Mike to come in, and so thank you very much, because this is very helpful for us as a board, for myself, because there's a lot, I have a lot of questions, as you know, and I always want to do, and I want to ensure that we're doing it in the correct manner and the proper manner, not just for our well-being, but for the well-being of the town too, and the people, the residents, because there's a lot to this, and so I want to make sure that, you know, whatever the board decides, that we don't mess it up in any way, shape, or form, whatever we go forward. So that is why, you know, I'm really appreciative that you have come forward to express that. So any other questions or comments from the board members?
And I would say, I would not, as, speaking as somebody who chaired for 8 years, I would not inhale or exhale without talking to your town council about it. You have very, very good counsel, you have very, very good lawyers, and they know this stuff, and to the extent that they have any questions, they know to call us. They know Cheryl very well, and Cheryl talks to town council all the time. But when I did a site assignment in Framingham on a chemical transfer station that we did 11 sessions, 3 or 4 hours apiece, and after session number 8, the guy stood up, the plant manager stood up, and he said, "That's it, I can't take this anymore. We're closing up and everyone's going to lose their jobs." And I smiled. That was the win, because he only had one employee, it was him. So it didn't ring true, but I would not, and at that time I was practicing environmental law, and I did not do anything without talking to our town council, because I didn't want to get in the way of a potential lawsuit against the town by this company. I didn't want to say something that could drag my town into it. So if I was that careful, I would say that you all have to be very, very careful and make sure you have very good counsel. We will work with your counsel hand in glove all the way through the whole thing, and make sure that we do the best we can for you.
I just want to say that the information that you're giving us is just critical. I've been on the board for 4 years, and I've never learned so much in the last 5 months than I did in 4 years. I mean, it's crazy. I've learned a lot, and thank you, because it's critical for us to be able to do the right thing and know the right thing, the right way to go. So I thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so next on our agenda is the discussion of the proposed battery energy storage system. So we're going to just discuss the public health concerns raised by residents regarding the proposed battery storage. And so the representative was invited. However, he did email me stating that he was unable to attend. And so what I did ask is, I had mentioned in the email, and I want to be very clear on what I said. He had mentioned that he was unable to attend in person, and if there was any specific questions and such. And so I had said that he was welcome to submit any written statement or any additional materials that he would like entered into the record for our review, and that we would still be holding this discussion. I have not heard anything back since, but I will plan on, seeing what we have. So this is not a public hearing, like we had mentioned, and it was on the agenda, but I kind of want to just go over with the board and discuss next steps and where you are, feeling with everything that we have just heard. And if I know that I was at the public hearing, so there was a lot of information on that. There was a lot of people who spoke. A lot of it was the same information about what we kind of learned here, the noise, questions on transparency, questions on public health, questions on emergency evacuation, and there was. And this is hearsay, so I can't say that it, because I have not spoken with anyone officially and gotten that communication, but that, there was a proposed shelter in place if something were to happen. I don't know if you were able to see the public hearing at all, or see anything on there. When there was like a short demonstration from the actual East Point Energy, the representative, and then there was some questions asked about what the plan was, and someone had mentioned it here too, and so their response is in Texas through, I believe, video surveillance. So I wanted to kind of open the
Madam
discussion
Chair,
and floor.
Can you tell me where Is it on YouTube or is it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, it is on YouTube. The whole public hearing, it started at 6 and it ended at like 10:30, I believe. It was way past my bedtime.
Just ask a question.
Yes.
I was at the hearing too,
Yes.
so I'm glad that I was, because we got abundance of information. Some of
Yes.
it was opinion. but
Yes.
People will certainly need to bring that forth as well. I just had one question, though. It seemed to me that the date that their board that was on the stage was talking about was October 24th. That's flying here.
Yes.
So if we're going to do something, it seems like we need to not take time.
Correct.
So my question is, when we were at that meeting, you had submitted a list of our concerns, and I'd like to know, I mean, where do we go to find out what the answer is to the list that we submitted? That should be number one, because those are all the concerns that we had for the public. And
So we have until October 25th to put that in writing to the board, which I was going to do after this hearing to see if we needed, this meeting, to see if we wanted to add anything to it. But from my understanding and what, in our, right here, what we just learned is that the next step, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, would be to see if we want to go forward with a site assignment. And then we would move forward with all of that.
Okay.
And we would kind of announce that we were moving forward with that.
Okay. And if we don't do that,
Then we have no authority.
Okay,
We
then-
don't do
okay,
it, we can't do anything.
yeah, and I think we know what we have to do.
Can we vote on, can we vote on that now? Okay, all right. All right, so I'm proposing that we put in for a site assignment as the Board of Health to move forward with this and continue on.
Okay. I would like to make a motion to move with the site assignment.
I'll second.
Okay, so motion has been put forward by Susan for a site assignment and seconded by Chris. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye as well. Motion has passed. We will be moving forward with the site assignment.
If I'm
Go ahead.
correct, I think 3 of the members are currently still working. I'm really not sure. I know I work part-time, but I was wondering if we could possibly have a meeting before the next meeting?
Yeah.
Because I would like the person, even though you've given the chance, I shouldn't say the chance, the opportunity to submit questions, I'd like to ask them one more time to come out and be with us because, again, I'm not the biggest fan of people that like to just let us have a meeting with nobody to represent them.
Yeah.
So I'd like to give them one more opportunity.
Yeah, so I think since we voted on the site assignment, the next step would be I get to reach out to town council and the health department and kind of work on all the next steps of what is necessary. And so I'm most likely, we would not be meeting once a month because this is going to be pretty extensive moving forward. And I don't know how fast things are going to move. However, we're just going to have to kind of fly by the edge of our seats a little bit on this and go with what we can do. And so I'll be speaking with town council, health board, getting all that moving forward and keeping you all in the loop, obviously, of any upcoming meetings and things. And my goal would be to get this information from the
And if you deem the importance of another meeting, even many meetings, as a point of information, I'd like the public to know how many hours or days we have to schedule it, because everybody right now, if this is going to be so important, which we think it is, you got to be looking at the town website, and because
Yeah, so
We're not really supposed to do the social media stuff on our own. I just want, like, everybody to know.
No.
No.
So everything is made public, and so we have 48 hours to post any upcoming meetings, so they have to be up within, posted within 48 hours on the Tewksbury website. And then if there are any revisions, we can do that kind of last minute, depending, but the original agenda and that we're going to be having a meeting is 48 hours prior to the meeting, so just so that you all are aware. And that is posted in the town website, and is it anywhere else? I don't think so, just the town website.
All meetings are on YouTube?
And all meetings typically are televised, unless it's like a working meeting, like we just had.
George said he's having surgery, and I have no choice but to be out of town for some of this, so.
Yeah.
Is there a way that we can be included? Because that's going to be tough.
We can always do video.
And I don't want to miss it.
Yeah, the remote participation.
Yeah, the remote participation, I believe it's like under certain conditions and circumstances that's available and allowed for the members of the board so that we can ensure that we have a quorum if there's any voting.
Good.
Did I miss anything? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay, so we're doing this. Okay. All right, so any other questions, comments from the board on this matter, on this discussion? Okay, all right, so next will be old business. So we're going to continue some deliberation on the proposed revisions of the Board of Health regulations from our working session on October 2nd with the intent to finalize and adopt further recommendation and amendments. So I know Chapter 1, Administrative and Organizational Regulations, we had gone over a bunch of things. I wasn't sure if there was anything that was missing or if we wanted to add or kind of fine-tune anything, or if everyone was good with that, because I know I know you weren't there, so I just wanted to check to see if, oh yeah, you were there. I was there. Forget that, you were there.
I feel like I'm missing something from after the meeting. I feel like am I missing like all the notes and the
revisions?
changes that we made?
I think I can.
Oh, sorry.
I think
Thank you.
you can
No,
quote them
thank
up. So.
It's the revisions that we made at the last meeting.
Yep. Do you have that in your, okay. Do you want me to put it up?
No, I mean, you can just send it to me.
Okay.
Am I the only one?
I believe I just forwarded it.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect. I had something here. Okay. That's not what I wanted. It was this one. Here we go. So I believe it was pretty.
Madam Chair, may we interrupt for a moment?
Go ahead.
Just want to thank you. You're the only board in town that helped us. If there's anything we can help you with, please call us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. They get me.
Okay.
Why am I emotional? All right, so
we just.
No, I gotta tell you though, nominating you was one of the best things I've ever done. No, I want you to know.
I don't know why. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go outside.
We're just going to pause for 5 seconds on. Okay. We just had a mass exit, so figured we'd let that go and then continue on. So I think with, as far as the the administrative and organizational regulations, we had done a lot. Not sure if we want to kind of change anything. When I was reviewing it again, there was the part with like the public access to documents. I don't know if we want to add agendas, meetings, hearing notices, things like that. I don't know if it's necessary.
They already have that somewhere else, so.
I believe so, yeah.
Right.
And then I believe we have somewhere that the permits expire on December 31st annually. I don't think it's on here, so we don't need to put it again. And so I don't think.
Except one new one.
What was that?
The certificate of inspection.
Oh, yeah.
Falls on a different date.
Oh,
Anyway.
yes.
Anyway, go ahead.
What else did I write here? Because I was looking through.
I think it was some like minor, like spelling errors.
Yeah, there was just
and
spelling, and I think it was because when we did it from PDF to Word, it went like
Went a little
weird.
cuckoo.
It went weird because it doesn't always overdo that and override it. So I think we were pretty, I think we captured everything, the suggestions and recommendations. Did I miss anything as far
believe
as
so.
the dumpster or the administrative? I don't think I did. I don't think we did in what we went over.
Okay.
Let's see, hold on, I found. I think we were questioning something with the 7-4. Oh, no, the online thing.
Oh, did we
It said the
fix
permit-
that?
Yeah, they said the permit process shall include a written application or should be online only, because that's, I have my little
Oh,
notes.
because everything is online.
Everything's online.
Did I
Everything's
change it to
online? Okay.
online already or no?
It says, is this online, question mark.
Okay, so then we can just change that to online. We can change that to online, and that's
742.
4-2. And then there was something above it that was, I have confusing written, but is
Oh,
variance in
yes.
waterways.
Hold on, I think I have this up. Give me one sec.
I didn't bring mine with me.
I was like, wait, hold on, I have my notebook. Something was confusing.
Oh, why can't I? Because I think I can bring it up here. It's not a big deal if I, it's not a big deal if I put it on the.
Shall be, it's the sentence that says something like, shall.
It's the definition of waterways.
Yeah, it was
not be
waterways.
Limited to or something.
Included the following but not limited to
Yeah.
wetland resources.
Here, I think
Yeah, that was,
you guys will be able to.
Not was a question.
There you go. There you go. So you should see it on your screen now.
Oh, thank you.
I'm like, might as well. It was, what part?
It is under 7.3.
7-3 under definitions, and it was the last one under waterways.
Is this for the dumpster?
Yep,
Ah, that's why. Okay, hold on.
Are we
it's on the second
dumpster or
page.
are we on administrative?
Are you on administrative?
I don't know where I am.
Where am I?
I am on chapter 7, my bad, sorry, I
Yeah,
jumped.
you're under administrative, but it's under the dumpster, chapter 7.
yeah, that's.
Hold on, let me get to chapter 1.
Am I here? Is this the right one?
No.
This is not-
After this.
You want to go down to dumpsters, right?
Oh, so we're on dumpsters?
Yes.
Okay. Give me one sec. I was like, wait a second. Where did I just put the dumpster? I put that here. One sec, I'll find it. Sent. Dumpster. Oh my gosh.
Could I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
I still have a concern, not with the regulation, but I'm thankful we have some good jobs in this community, but I believe that a few of, to do with defense systems, I still believe our department or our town can either get together with some, like our congressman or something, and look at the facilities that the dumpsters are connected to the buildings like they need to be. I know it's probably a small thing to some people, but when in 2016, I bring it to Susan's attention, and she contacted a facility that wasn't, and it was one of the largest employers in the town. So I didn't bring that up to the people when I was running, but she was able to get in contact with the plant manager, who stated that he couldn't get anything done, and then she went above his head, and the divisional director made the choice because he had to do with the funds. So, thank you.
Okay. So are you,
I would still look at it like that you would look into it, because whenever I've asked in the past.
oh, as far as like the smaller dumpsters that are kind of like against,
Correct.
to
Correct.
ensure that they are against?
No, that they have the connection that they're supposed to have, because, like I said, we have no, we can't get, and when I say we, I'm talking about as citizens.
Yeah.
I can go down to some dumpsters and see if they're connected or not, right? But
That up to that would be the dumpster company though, correct, or no?
Connected to what?
I think
the
he's,
buildings, I want to make sure, I'm just saying, what I'd like to see is that if there was an inspection.
Compact dumpster?
compact
Yes.
ones.
Yes.
Because I believe that's the company that sets them there, they attach it, from my understanding.
Right, but I'm just going to give you an example. Somebody can be driving a high-low and they aren't connected and die from it. They can crash if it's not connected on the inside. Now, I know business may have a union or not, and they're the ones that deal with it, but I talked to Susan, she was able to take care of it with a company. I mean, I can talk you off the record. I don't think the people, I mean, unless somebody asked me, I don't.
Is that something that we want to put, is that where are you trying to say like that you want to put something on this though?
No, I would just, because I'm concerned that it seems like just because it's the Defense Department and they need security, that we could still, whether it's going through our congressperson or however, to get somebody on there to inspect it.
Oh, okay.
Because it may have to be a state person, like from the state, as opposed to our town.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to check that.
Yeah.
Okay. So is this part right here that we're right here, it's but not limited to?
I feel like when it was in discussion, maybe you thought not should be included, which it seems like it should.
Yeah, right, because that's what because it was following but limited to, so we were like, but not limited to. Right, okay.
Yeah.
It was.
Right, but then I had said that it was wetland resources as defined defined under the Mass General Law. That's what, that whole sentence is confusing. So waterways include the following, but not limited to, and then wetland, is that two separate sentences? That whole thing is super confusing.
So waterways included the following, but not limited to wetland resources are as defined. So I think
Should
it's
be
defined.
Or as defined, instead of are, maybe it copied over funny.
Resources, take out the R?
Yeah, take out the R, because I had the R crossed out. So waterways include the following, but not limited to wetland resources as defined under Mass General Law. We probably have to look up
Yeah, we'll have to, yeah. Okay, I can look that up real quick.
what the Mass General Law is.
Oops, hold on. Well, I don't know why I'm doing this like this. It's so much easier if I just use this. Maybe, or not. Oh, there we go. No, don't do that. Don't change it. I just wanna. Okay. Let's see. Let me look it up real quick. See what it says. Massachusetts General Chapter and Section that governs the Wetlands Protection Act, which protects wetlands and water resources from destruction or alteration. 310 CMR is the Code of Massachusetts regulations implementing that law. So when a notice of intent is required, what defines a wetland or buffer zone performance standards. So that's what basically summary of the Mass General Law 131 is governs the Wetlands Protection Act. So I believe this would make sense. Actually, I think it would be, it wouldn't be not limited to, it would be limited, which include, but,
Yeah, so limited, but limited to wetland resources as defined under.
yeah, so it wouldn't be not,
Okay.
but limited to wetland resources as defined, because that's what that,
Okay.
that Massachusetts state law.
Because that was hurting my
Yep.
brain.
All right, and then the 742, that is include, so the permit process shall be submitted online, right?
Yes.
Okay. The permit process shall include a online application.
So instead of written, so it'd be just an online application form.
Yep, an online
Application
form.
Is it form? But it wouldn't be a form if it's online.
Yeah, okay.
I can't shut it off.
I know.
I just can't shut
You're
it
type
off.
A, it's okay.
Pisces.
Were you an English teacher?
No.
Okay, me neither. All right, so that, and then I think that's it. We did the public hearing, and I think some of these were literally just because of it going from PDF to Word. I don't think there was anything else, right? We added that. I think this, I don't know if you saw that one that we put, like, that the wheels, that what size? And that, we kind of looked that up too. Google. All right, so any other questions, concerns, comments on these?
Let me check my notes.
And we changed it per day because I looked up
Yes.
that thing because that
Yep.
was, so that
Couldn't
way it's
increase it.
really, yep.
We were like, what?
We wanted to increase it, but we couldn't.
And then I had to look it up. I'm like, we can't increase it because that's like the law.
We had a good idea to increase it too, but
Especially that one, it says like you cannot, like those you cannot, which
Yeah.
is interesting, but yes, but it was per day, and so that was where it was, makes sense. All right, so then we can adopt the following to be, to move forward to ensure that everything is good, and then we can sign off on it after, when legal counsel goes through.
Okay.
Sound good?
sounds good.
And I don't think we need to vote on that.
I've sent it to council. I haven't heard a
Okay.
response.
Okay.
I don't see an issue. There's
Yeah.
like minor, like
They're
changes.
like little changes.
Grammatical.
We didn't really add anything
I
crazy.
showed Steve. He didn't really seem concerned, so.
No. I think when we get to
Great.
like other regulations, they'll be bigger.
Correct.
Okay, so we'll just say all in favor, good? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, next, Health Department report.
Okay. Halloween is this weekend on the
Yes.
Town Common from 1 to 4. Also, I forgot to put on there, the coat drive is still going on downstairs in the lower level. It goes till December 15th. I believe we have 19 coats already.
Nice. That's awesome.
Until what?
December 15th.
You?
Okay.
And I'm saying that's it, we need more.
I know. I mean, that's great, but we do need
Yeah.
more, like, obviously. So if anyone has any, is it used, gentle used?
Yes.
Gently used.
Gently used new coats that no longer fit, want to get rid of, you don't really like, please send them.
Fall
And-
clean out.
Yes. Absolutely. And then the next one would be Planning Board request for Master Plan Steering Committee participation. So this was an email, and I believe it's in your packet as well. In regards to if we wanted to be a part of this, or if there's any specific members, all the members wanted to be part of that so that I can let.
Am I correct that we can only have one member from this board?
The committees tend to be chartered and include a specific set of representatives. The remainder of committee members are solicited through open community process, typically include people who work.
Yeah, I thought they were trying to get one member from the planning board.
I know, I believe they're trying to get one from every, I don't know if it's just limited to one. It doesn't say just limited to one. I mean, I don't think we would need all of us to go either. But if there are any members of the board that are interested in being part of this, I think it would be
It's huge.
beneficial,
It's huge for the direction of the town.
very beneficial
And if you-
to be a part of
This is
it.
your chance to go, to get involved in something, to try to have your voting in a certain direction. I mean, the town, again, the master plan is something that some people don't want to talk about, but it's definitely important. And about every 10 years, I believe it has to be updated.
Okay. Shannon, do you know how often they meet?
So I was just pulling up the email. It says, this effort is expected to be a 12 to 16-month commitment.
12 to 16-month commitment.
Yeah, Steve can verify this, but when I moved to the town, it was in 2002, they did the last one, and I wanted to meet with somebody that was involved, not just the political part, but, so I met with him on as the economic developer, and I said, Steve, it's 2015, I moved in 14, and I said, the last master plan was updated in 2002. That's 12 years. Shouldn't we be on that? And he said, yeah, they've started, and it finally got accomplished by, I think, the end of the 2015, and then it took eight years to get, the next step was the zoning board update.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it depends on how much time is involved, like 12 to, because it's, you know, I have a full-time job that.
Right.
I mean, this is, and it also depends on how much say you have.
Exactly.
When you're part of it, because being as busy as I am, I certainly would hate to waste my time and just
Exactly.
be there because they need someone on the board,
They
but
need a
yet
body,
you have
right.
no
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Right.
So this is something that I would do when I'm retired.
Yeah, exactly.
I am, like, so I think it would be great for someone of the board. I can definitely say that, you know, we do have some, I mean, it depends on all, like, we do have some interest, but we want some more information.
Correct.
As far to then determine who would be able to be an existing member to make sure that we're all set with that. So I can definitely reply to her on that and then get back the information and kind of, you know, have Lisa then share it with you all. We can definitely do that.
I mean, it's something I think is very important.
Yes.
But I just don't want to.
I'm already spent to the max on all my commitments.
Correct.
And I dislike, I don't want to say no to something, but I also can't say yes to everything. So, so I was hoping that one of you would step
I know,
up.
I mean, it's interesting, but.
I'm hoping Pam will be able to do it only because I got a bunch of things in the fire for next year.
Whether I would have the,
Yeah.
I've lived.
So we're just going to look at you two and be like,
odd years.
hi. So let me find out, so I can find out some more
Yeah, I
information
need more
and then we
information
can
before I
go
commit,
from there
because-
and then hopefully we can get back to that. How does that sound?
I mean, if we weren't going to have anybody do it, I would be more than happy to do it. No, I'm serious. I just want everybody to know that. But I got a lot of things in the fire for next year.
Off the record, but on the record, if I say yes to one more thing, my husband will probably be like, what are you doing? So.
I tried to get you to rub a cigarette, but that's not going over well.
I'll probably get a text. Okay.
I can follow up with Alex tomorrow.
Yeah, if you don't mind,
I'll
if you
get
can,
back to
if you
you
can
guys.
follow up, see what it all entails, and then just send us an email with that, and so that way we kind of have an idea, and then we can kind of, someone can step up.
I believe she needs to know
By the 31st.
31st,
Then
yes.
we need more information.
So someone can,
I need more information.
Can I share with the board about what I had talked to you before the meeting about?
yes, because it's board member reports, sure.
Okay. I had talked to Steve about the 250th anniversary of our country is next year. Now, he's going to be gone next month, but the oldest public museum, health museum is in our town. So I wanted us to consider asking, because I have a connection in the White House anyways, if you would, it would only be the will of the board to have someone from the HHS come out and report everything from like what's going on in the last, they'll have over a year to tell the folks what they've accomplished in a year. I would like to know at that level. That's just, again, that's probably me, but we do have, I think, the 250th anniversary and having a public health museum, the first one in the country, will help to bring someone from that department out to speak to us. And we may get to, but I know there's a few things like the police.
Like come in front of the board and speak with us? or
No,
just
that's
like-
part of it, is the police have to be notified, and the security may have to happen if you're going to get it. I would like to have one of the secretaries. And so they have to go through that and go through our town, but if we can, because we're the Board of Health, because it's the public museum, and because it's the 250th anniversary, I believe we can request it. They may not be able to come through with the state speaking at that, and it's a small little museum, so hey, speak at the high school if we can get it. Then you can have the public come to it.
Thoughts, comments?
I'm not sure.
I don't know how that works. I don't even know if that's like, I don't know, like, because that's like a town event, so I think, I mean,
I would think
I'm
it
always
was a
open
town
to.
event.
Yeah, I think it would be more of a town event than like a Board of Health initiative event.
Okay.
I mean, and I'll do, like, yes, it's, like, I think it would be great.
Do you think our town manager will request the secretary
That's something,
of
a part
HHS
and
to come out
aside
and
that
speak
would
to
need
us?
to be discussed with him.
I don't think the governor would want that to happen.
I think that would be
That's
something
why I
that would
think
need to
we
be
can do it.
discussed. I don't know if that's something that's really, I mean, yeah, I mean, I would love to hear anyone come and kind of say what they've done, no matter who.
Because the
it is. I
media
think
will
it'd be
only
really
tell us one thing. I want to know what's actually something that
Yeah.
they've accomplished.
We can ponder and see, like, if there's anything.
Mhm.
I can't say in concrete that we can do anything, but we can, George, if you want to look into that and see if there's
Well, I
anything that
think-
we
yeah,
have
may
authority
have
on, and you
ask,
want to put
obviously,
that
the
in
town
front.
council, I would
Yeah.
think.
So if you want to do
Thank
that,
you.
you are
Thank you.
more than welcome to.
Thank you.
I'm not adding anything else to my plate right now. We have a lot ahead of us.
Yes, we do.
Yes. So with that in mind, does anybody else have any reports that they'd like to say? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
At Wellness Committee.
Oh, yes, yes.
So unfortunately for the Wellness Committee, I was sick, so I didn't go to the Wellness Committee meeting, but the reports were supposed to come back that day for entities that we had contacted to see if they would be part of the event, and I had 5 on my plate, so 4 of those are coming. What they've done is asked, they made a list of any business and/or public entity that had something to do with health.
Okay.
And some, I mean, a lot of them are professionals, you know, but most of the entities I contacted are a lot of volunteer organizations and that sort of thing. But most of them are going to be sending representatives. And I think it sounds like it's going to build into a pretty huge deal for the day.
Great.
I have not seen the notes from the meeting, and since unfortunately I missed it, I don't know, but I sent in my information by email. And I still am looking at contacting more businesses because there was a list of perhaps 20 with no one assigned to them. So periodically I get that list out again and contact somebody new. So, but it's been a really positive response from everything I understand, so that's great.
Great. Sounds great. And when is that?
The 10th of March.
10th of March, okay. March 10th. Awesome. Perfect. And is there anything that the board or that they need from the board or anything that we can like help with?
Not so far. I mean, their plans are pretty much to have related event every month. They've already started them. And those are being manned by professionals in various capacities. They
Great.
have one particular woman whose name escapes me at the moment, has contact with a lot of social workers and behavioral people.
Nice.
And it's a lot of the things that are happening in the school itself have to do with that. Food safety, date safety.
Learning, like
things
reading
that
the
really
labels and things?
More,
Yeah.
are more specific to the kids, to the teens and so on. Whereas the day itself will be for the entire town.
Oh, nice.
So it's not just, just having to do with youth or anything like that.
That's great. Awesome. Look forward to hearing more. Any others? Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I second that.
So motion has been put forward by Chris, seconded by Susan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair, motion passed. It is 7:45. Our next meeting is November 20th, but there may be something sooner. But currently, our next meeting in the books is November 20th. And good night, Tewksbury. Thank you very much.